Yes. Okay. What do you do when you know you were meant for more, but are still feeling stuck? Like, what is that? Right? What do you do? You're meant for more. You can really feel it. And
Mm.
it's so frustrating. But why can't you get it together? It's as if you're spinning your wheels or running in place in your career. This when you have this feeling, this is a case of the imposter syndrome. You've contracted that itchy, right? And it's the rash of imposter syndrome. It's going around, so we hear. But apparently, right, Nettie and I, we were just talking about imposter syndrome on this topic, getting ready for today. And it's like I learned about it from a man,
Yeah.
not for nothing. And apparently it was originally a diagnosis for women. What? Like, Nettie, can you tell us more about this? Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely heard about imposter syndrome before I figured out and learned about, how this terminology came to be. And actually, it was coined all the way back in 1978. Um, right. So that might be before you were born.
Yeah.
That might be before some of our watchers were born, our listeners were born. So 1978 by two women clinical psychologists who had noticed a trend of women being highly qualified, but feeling like they were a fraud and maybe didn't belong in the room that they were in. And so, yes, research since then has allowed that word to include men who have felt that particular feeling. Um, it's not a diagnosis, it's more of a description of an experience. But I do think it's relevant that it was first noticed in women, particularly high achieving women. So if you're a high achiever woman, we're talking to you because we are you. We understand how you're feeling. And yeah, so we're going to talk about that today as it relates to being a leader and where it comes in. But before we do that, a little bit about us. You go first.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Oh, so I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield, founder of strategicmeditation.com, where I help impact driven entrepreneurs and leaders like you to get and stay grounded and clear in mind, body, and business. What I do as a coach and a healer is I use tools from my holistic toolbox, such as meditation, Reiki, and energy work, different things like that, to help you regulate your emotions, because when you feel better, you do better. Pair that together with going and getting those goals, feeling better and doing better, and you get the outcomes that you're looking for. So that's what I do for the last 16 years. Yeah, Nettie. What about you?
Amazing. And you do it so well.
Thank you.
I'm Nettie Owens. I'm with the Sapari Group. We do executive coaching primarily for women, along with strategic planning that leads to execution, implementation, and growth. So I've been in this realm of helping people to see their goals and reach their goals since 2004. And I just absolutely love this work because there's always this spark, right, that comes when you start to notice that you can stay focused, you can stay in the zone with the work that you're doing, even if there's a lot of distraction. Maybe you've got kids at home or people that you're caring for, and a lot of big goals to help you reel that in so that you can use the most energy to actually getting where you want to go. And so today, with us talking about um, knowing that you've got like all these pieces that are going well, that you have the skills for doing the work that you've set out to do, but somehow the rubber isn't meeting the road. It's not sticking. Something's just not working in your execution. And so we're going to be talking about that. today. And we were noodling over this before we came on here, as we do.
Yes.
And just talking about, what are some of these, what's showing up? What's happening when we're having these kinds of experiences? Capable women getting stuck. And actually, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it tends to be the capable women who get the most stuck, which, why is that? Like, what's up? How come we're having the most trouble when we have the best, the most expertise and experience? What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I love my type A's. I'm a type A on the down low. I think that's why. Type A for awesome. Type A for excellent because spelling. So here's the thing. A is also analytical. So
Mm,
we get stuck because we get in our heads. We get in our heads. Perfection paralysis, analysis paralysis.
mm,
We're highly sensitized to doing things with excellence. That's why we're high performers. But because of that sensitivity, we're also highly sensitized to things not moving. And so that would be my argument as to why the high performing woman can
mhm.
get highly stuck and
Yeah.
more often is because her sensor, right, her sensors are on another level versus the mid to low performer. They're not paying as attention to as much of the movement going on. They're not as attached to it. They're not analyzing as much as we are, as highly intelligent and movement motivated people. If we're not moving, we're dying, but
Mhm.
we're sensitive to that, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
does that
well,
make sense?
and I think the sensitivity is actually, something that's gotten us to this particular point, our ability to pull a lot of information together, to read and ingest a lot of information so that we have it readily available. We have lots of experiences, and so we're used to seeing all these parts, but it also means that, like you said, we're highly sensitive, when things aren't going well as well. And I would even add in here, especially with the quote that we started off with, or the information we started off with, that back in 1978, I'm going to give you their names: Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes coined this idea of imposter syndrome. I think that there is something notable about women in the workforce, that we do have to perform at that higher level in order to make our way. Like, if we had performed as the average Joe might, we wouldn't have been able to even break through into an opportunity. We had to perform, but we're kind of doing that on just this, like, extremely high level. And now it's time to maybe notice what we're doing right as opposed to what we're doing wrong. Maybe.
Oh, 100. Well said. Well said. Because with that uh, power of analytics that we've got going for
Mhm.
ourselves, we're hypersensitized to the negative, and then we can jump into that and it becomes its own downward spiral of, see, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it, or oh, this is so frustrating, I'm not as far as so and so is, or no matter what I do, like it can be overcorrection, or over analysis. We get ourselves into all of that. Like, we make ourselves busy with picking ourselves apart and criticizing ourselves. And in fact, Nettie, you and I both, we've got some stories around how we've lived this ourselves, where things weren't turning out the way that we wanted to do, right? We set big goals,
Right.
big vision. And then when reality isn't catching up, uh, we've been learning to lift the grace muscle
Mhm.
rather than the you ain't muscle.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't know if you wanted to, like, if you had a story in particular that came to
Well, do. I do have a story, and I actually wanted to jump back to another little bit of information to kind of throw this in here. Sheryl Sandberg, in her book Lean In, cited a study that said that in regards to applying for jobs, men will apply to a job if they meet 60% of the qualifications, whereas this research showed that women wouldn't apply unless they met 100% of the qualifications. And it really leaves a lot of opportunity lost if we're thinking that in order to succeed, we have to be perfect. Something that I remind my clients of regularly is that you can pass with a D. You could pass with a C, right? So if you can perform at 70% and get it done, you can pass. And yet, as women, we're trying to hit 100%, 100% of the time instead of letting good enough be good enough. And it's hurting us. It's hurting our success. Um, and so, actually, I think now would be a great time. I know I'm going to throw this back to you, but I think now would be a really great time to share your story because it
Yeah.
it specifically speaks to this point that we're making.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So thinking back on my history of holding myself to impossible standards of excellence, um, I pride myself in being a teacher. You look at my name at the bottom of the screen. My birth name is Victoria Whitfield. My title is Sensei, which in Japanese means teacher, right? So that's my background. This is what I went to university for. This is the level of like study that I've gotten in Reiki as being a master teacher in 4 different lineages. And also, I pride myself in my identity of teaching. So that's lovely. And I've found myself over like time and time again throughout my career in business going in to be a student because that's part of always being a great teacher, but being frustrated that my classmates end up doing better than me.
Mhm.
Full transparency, right? What in the world? I have so many people that I know and love who sat in the same program or in the same classroom, and they have like had explosive growth, like
Yeah.
tens of millions. A couple of my friends make a few $100 million. They've had explosive growth, whereas mine has been more of a steady incline. I've always made 6 figures. I'm grateful for that stability. Yet at the same time, I'm wondering, what's wrong with me? What is different about me that I paid the same amount to be in this room, child?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? And
Mm.
the pattern, we were noodling this before we hopped on.
Right.
Um, the pattern was I'm the type, because of my identity as a teacher, is to give away all of the solutions, give information to solve as many problems as possible. I'm oriented towards solving problems more so than receiving, right, for myself.
Mhm.
When I work with my clients now on moving through this block, because like I've processed it for myself now, that it's am I what who am I being now? Am I being a learner or am I being an earner as I show up
Mhm.
in this space? The friends that I would sit next to, they would show up of like, I'm an earner. I would like, I'm gonna implement this and like do it messy, like you're saying. Done
Right.
is better than perfect,
Mhm.
rather than doing it as perfect as possible. But I would hold myself to that impossible standard and then keep going back into the learning or focus on trying to make sure that other people do well rather than reaching out for that help.
That one right there. Like, "Oh, you need help? Okay, I can help you." And somehow I become the teacher's assistant, who unpaid, right? It's
Yeah.
not like I'm part of the coaching program, that we were both a part of. But yeah, right there, like, "Oh, You need help with that? Yeah, I'm your gal. I can talk you through it, coach you through it, put you on an accountability plan, call you every day,
All
all,
for
all,
free.
all for free, all for free. So I think a part of this is really getting clear on noticing what your gifts are. Like you're what you're great at, it's going to become so easy for you that you will take it for granted. So for a very long time, I took for granted that I'm great at helping people stay accountable. I'm great at breaking things down. I'm great at making plans, to seeing like clearly, what the system is. And there was an assumption that because I was good at it, that everyone was great at it. And um, Gay Hendricks, in his book, The Big Leap, talks about how that's a really common mistake to make, a mental mistake to make, right? And so for you, learning came easily, and being a teacher and sharing those ideas came easily. And so, like you took for granted those different skills. And now what both you and I have figured out is that actually, no, that's our like secret power, our secret sauce. And so we want to make that an integral part of what we provide, of what we serve people with. And we both have done that in the businesses that we've created. But even if you are a leader, maybe you're not an entrepreneur, but maybe you're a leader, are you dismissing, discounting the expertise, excellence, joy that you find in doing the things that just come easily to you? Are you trying to make it harder than it needs to be? I know that's not the direction we were going in, but I just kind of want to ask that question, because once you really identify what you're great at and allow that to lead the conversation, you're going to find some movement. And one of the ways that you find that movement is to really just start taking consistent small steps in that direction, even if it's messy, even if it's not 100%, but that there's some consistency in moving forward. Because those people who Victoria called earners instead of learners, they took a little bit of information and they acted on it quickly. I heard recently in a podcast, I think it was in Gina Knox's podcast, Small Business, Big Money. And I don't recall if this was her quote or if she was referencing something, so I'd have to go back. But she said that the difference between people who are successful, more, maybe more than you are at this particular moment, is that they've learned how to solve more problems faster. And that really struck me, because when we're in this, like, oh, it has to be perfect, and I don't know what I'm doing, and getting stuck in that space, we're not solving any problems. But what we're talking about now is identifying a problem. Oh, I'm not leading with my excellence. I'm not leading with the things I do best. How can I do that? And Victoria, you were also sharing, a problem that was keeping you from getting sales was your sales calls.
Oh, girl, yes. And shout out to the people that helped me move through this block because if you want more money, you've got to make more offers. That comes from Myron Golden.
Mhm,
So being able to make more offers was not a concept to me at a certain point. There's like how do you say Anno Domini
mhm,
and BC, right? So this is like a BC before Common Era, and learning the skill of sales, sitting down with like entering into a sales program, like reading the book Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson was huge, but also going into his actual program and receiving coaching from with his private coaches. Shout out to Nico and Vince and Steve, love you all, my gosh, Sarah. So like receiving coaching was so powerful because I'm like, all right, I want to help more people. When I close sales, I'm helping people. Like
mhm,
when I make good money, more good happens in the world. That's why I should be selling. So I want to learn how to do this. It's not wrong for me to make good money. Shout out to you if you're listening, you think, oh, I can't. charge 10,000, 30,000, right? 150,000 per appointment. Like that's crazy money. No, solve 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, $150,000 problems,
Yep.
and that is absolutely warranted. So when I sat down for receiving sales coaching, remember I sent a recording of one of my discovery calls to the coach. It was a 90-minute recording. I'm so sorry, Nico.
Well,
He had
90
to
minutes
listen to
that you
it.
were on the phone with somebody that wanted to work with you.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand why I didn't get to call. I did a whole 90-minute session, a whole 90-minute free call. Like I put my foot in that. I thought I did a great job. And he listened to it. And when we came on the call, he said, at minute 13, you had her. And then you kept talking. You kept talking, and especially you kept teaching, and you solved all of her problems before she paid you. And that's why you didn't make the sale. That's why she, at the end, when you said, so greatest gift from your time together, what was your greatest take? She said, this was amazing. So generous. I love it. Thank you so much. Click. Like, and
I'm just imagining that you walk into like a surgeon's office and you're like, so I've got this thing. And the surgeon's like, that's great. I see that thing. All right, prep her for surgery. We're taking it out. And then like that's it. And then you walk out the door. There's no compensation for the work that was done. And that's definitely a problem. So we've identified several potential issues. What could be holding you back? And I think for our listeners out there, I want you to understand that what's holding Victoria back, what's holding me back, what's holding Sally back is going to be different for each person. So if you're hearing some of this and you're like, oh, maybe that's me, don't take on our problems as your problems, but get real with yourself, or perhaps let us know if you're stuck somewhere, and we'd be happy to have that conversation with you about what is getting in your way, and help you move past that. So if that speaks to you, I'm totally taking your line here, Victoria. Type connect and let us know. And we will do a three-way conversation to help address what's got you stuck. But just know that these are potential kinds of things. You need to be honest with yourself about what has you stuck, and you're going to solve that problem through learning, through coaching, through purchasing tools. Like there's a lot of different ways to solve problems. And we want to make sure first that you know the problem that you're solving and that you solve it with the right solution.
yeah, yeah. It was signing up for the coaching that made the difference for me. When I
Mhm.
had my first $60,000 hour, it was because of the coaching that I received. And that was coming from struggling to ask for $35 for an
Mhm.
hour of my time. Like the coaching makes all the difference. And I'll trust, as someone who identifies as like a teacher slash student,
Mhm.
I will make myself super busy. So I'm saying this, not just be like, this is why Victoria's like messed up. I'm trying to let y'all know that I got you. Like we're right here. I understand where you're coming from, and that we make ourselves busy as highly intelligent, high performing women. We make ourselves busier than we need to be rather than focusing on building our futures, right? But the way to move from busying busying ourselves to death and spinning our wheels, feeling stuck and like, oh, what's wrong with me that I'm not moving as fast as the next person? Like what's the difference is focusing instead on who am I being in this moment? Am I here to build? Right? Am I here to be a learner or an earner? Am
Mhm.
I here building my future and building towards my goals? Or am I just building my next A plus, my next 4.0 GPA, my next certificate to go on the wall, but that has nothing to do with me actually receiving the things that I put on my vision board. Like it's just okay, I checked another box. Like if this speaks to you, again, Nettie and I are here to support. That's why we're having this conversation. Nettie, if you want to, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking, like, tell me I'm the top of the class. Tell me I'm the star student. Tell me I just won. I don't have to earn any money. Just tell me I'm the best. I know I'm not alone here. I know I'm not alone here. So, but we really truly would love to help support you. If any of this is resonating, let us know. And I want to just leave folks with a kind of a tease for next time. We're going to be talking next time that we hop on here. We've been doing these every week. We hope to see you again if you're watching or listening later. But we talked last time, and you should check that out, about what to do when you plan an event and no one comes. And then we talked today about knowing that you're meant for more. So what happens if you're like, I'm doing an event, I got the people, like I'm so good. I'm so good at getting the people. The date is on the calendar. I've got this topic, but the event itself, like, did you spend any time thinking about how you would plan for the event? Like, what were you going to teach them? What do you want them to come away with? And your event is just kind of messy or chaotic, or you're the night before pulling it all together. We can only speak to this because we've seen it, we've lived it, we've had this experience. But next time we're going to be talking about it, like maybe your problem wasn't getting people in the door, but what are you delivering? And are
Yeah.
you ensuring that people walk away with a great result? So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to be talking about next time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's the problem of, all right, the gang's all here. And what are we doing? Or the gang's all here and low to no engagement. Like
Mhm.
we're going to dive into how we make events super valuable. People are like, come back and do that again, right? Or they keep buying and buying and buying. Like, I remember, gosh, like having people coming to my retreats and brag about, well, I've been to 20 in a row. Like, how do
Yeah.
you do that? It's the
We
content.
started adding stars, or we started adding,
Yes.
like, how many of these have you come to? Because
Yeah.
people were so excited to
Don't
share.
give away all my secrets. Sheesh.
Sorry.
Well,
Okay, come next time. Come next time.
yeah. So again, everyone, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you tap that like button and reshare it on your platform so that other people can see that this was super valuable. And as a side note, I think we've come to a
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
for what the heck are we doing here?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So if you've been listening, and this is episode 5, last time we asked and then we posted, and you all responded that the podcast name for our show is going to be Wake Up Women Lead.
Woo! Wake up, women leaders. Let's go. Let's do it. So this is from now on. Now we know what the name of the Nettie and Victoria show is. Hooray! And thank you to everyone who weighed in. And we're taking a stand for women in leadership. And it's and by the way, for the men as well who
Mm,
want to see more women wake up and lead, we've got you. So with that,
yes.
we're all
Men,
set.
yeah. Men,
Yeah.
these things that we're sharing, they can help improve your business, your leadership, and your work with women leaders. So come and join us. All right.
Alrighty, everyone. Bye for now. See you next time.